Hello. Today I'm going to be doing a speed paint because I don't know what else to post. I'm not very good at posting long videos because I never know what to say. So hopefully this is entertaining. Yeah. Also, the weird arrow looking thing you can see in the corner is just a YouTube video. So if you see any random cuts in the video, it's probably just from where either I'm editing out an ad that Ibis Paint gave me, or Ibis Paint, I don't really know how you say it to be honest. Or I'm editing out me pulling the YouTube video out of this little tab to see it, because obviously you don't need to see that. That's not very interesting. Anyway, yeah. So doing a speed paint. The character that I'm currently drawing is called Rio, and they're a god. I don't know how to explain it, guys. Also, I'm really sorry about the eroticness, I guess. No, not erotic. Erraticness. That's the wrong word of this video, because I draw quite zoomy in and outy. I zoom into my images often. Yeah, so that's, sorry that it's moving around so much, but I wanted to show you the actual process instead of just whatever, Ibis Paint did for the speed paint, because I feel like this is more interesting. Alright, anyway, next character. Oh no. This is Alice. She's a really fancy cat person. I changed her ears later on because they were really big and it's not really what cat ears look like. I really wanted to give her different, not different, but cat looking eyes, which is why she has those eyes, because she's a cat. Look at me thinking things through. And Rio is a bat. I didn't really explain this properly. It's just me designing some characters because I came up with a really random, very loose story idea randomly at 9 o'clock at night. That's why I don't really have much to say about each character, because I just randomly thought of a loose story idea. Right, so here's that story idea. Basically, the very loose idea was that there's different kingdoms, right? I know, such a big brain moment. And each kingdom is has different powers. Again, I know, such a big brain moment. And they each have different animal themes. I know, again, such a big brain moment. That's basically the entire story so far. I don't have any specific ideas, but I really wanted to design some characters, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to do this. Anyway, so the character I'm drawing now is called Bella, and she's a butterfly. Also, I forgot to give her little antennae, and even in the finished drawing, currently, as I'm recording this, I don't have her antennae. So if I draw her again, which I probably will, because I'm going to try to develop the stories a little bit more, then know for sure that Bella will have antennae. I just can't really be asked to add them now, because I just feel like it will clutter up the space. There's my video. I haven't fully edited out all of the little video clips so far. Yeah. I don't really know what I was going for with a lot of the characters. I kind of just drew what came to my mind when I finished them. Also, the reason I didn't show me actually sketching the bodies is just because it was really chaotic, and because I was struggling a lot with the poses and the different body types, because I really want to make sure I try to start getting different heights and different types of bodies in my artwork, because a lot of my characters' only differences really are their faces and eyes and hair and clothes and sometimes noses, which are obviously valid differences, but it would be nice to have some different better differences in heights. So yeah, that's basically why it was so, I didn't show that, because it's just really chaotic. Yeah, anyway, guy I'm drawing now is Carlos, and I'm not really sure of all these guys' ages, so I'm guessing that they're probably gonna be in their 20s. I'm not really sure. I haven't thought much about the story. I'm starting to wonder if maybe I should have recorded the voiceover after I'd thought about their characters more. But really, this is literally just footage of me having fun and designing some characters. Like, no even kidding. I'm not gonna lie. Random on a whim designing some characters. I have to admit, one thing I really, really like doing was drawing like the little loops on Rio's, what's it called? It's like a toga? Is that what it's called? I can't remember. Not a dress, but like, yeah, I can't remember what they're called. I really enjoyed drawing like the different folds on that. I had a lot of fun with it. And yeah. I also noticed earlier on that like I was struggling. You might have noticed, sorry. But I was really struggling with Alice's feet. Wait, no, I don't know if I got to that point yet. But boy, that's going to be a reoccurring issue. I really struggled to draw Alice's feet. For some reason, I just could not get the position correct. Like, for the way she's standing. You'll also notice I did not flip the canvas. I did flip it after I recorded this. And honestly, low-key, they're not that off-center. But yeah. I struggled a lot with different parts of this drawing, like the hand you just saw. I'm still struggling with it apparently in this bit. I think that mostly comes down to my lack of sketching out a lot of parts I didn't want to sketch out. Like, I just did not want to get refinement in my sketch, and I really should have, so that is my bad. Also, let me know if you have any ideas for, like, the names of kingdoms, because I'm really not sure. I haven't thought about it too much, but it would be really fun if you guys wanted to help me decide, because I'm not very good at naming, like, places. Like, the name for the place where, like, Banksy and that live is literally called Bubblebrook. Like, that's not a very good name. I'm not good at naming places, so I would greatly appreciate if anyone has any ideas for, like, stuff. Also, normally I would put meaning behind my characters' names, or they would just be names I just come to, like, not always, but a lot of the time I like to put meanings behind my characters' names. Whether or not those meanings are still true to them, for a lot of them, probably not, but I used to, at least. I don't do it so much now, but for these guys, for some reason, I just looked at them and I immediately had names for, like, literally all of them. I'm not even kidding. Like, normally when I create random characters, they'll go through different names, but no, not for these guys, apparently. I just knew what to call them as soon as I looked at them. Yeah. I kind of think I might try and name the kingdoms based off of, like, the different animals of each of them, but I'm not really sure about that yet. Yeah. Like, I don't know, maybe I could name them after different, like, species of these animals. No, not breeds, but, like, there are different types of bats, but not any of it, like, really works super well for naming kingdoms. So maybe I could base them a bit more on other things. I'm not really sure. I might base them around, like, the different elements, or, like, just different things in nature. I also don't know what time period this takes place in, so don't ask me that. I do not know a lot about this story, but I just really like the designs, and I was really bored, and I just really wanted to design some characters. Now, normally I would go through different, like, ideas for characters, but for some reason, these designs just really came to me immediately. Like, I don't know why, they just came to me, and I just drew them that way. And normally I really struggle with designing characters because I never know what to put them in, and they always end up in the same generic outfits. And to be honest, I think one thing that really helped me with this drawing was having more of an actual theme rather than just average people, like average adults, average teenagers, average children. Like, these guys I knew were from some kind of magical kingdom, so it was a bit more, like, of a task. And normally if I were doing, like, a specific setting or time period, I would have some kind of reference, but for these guys I really just went with the flow, and like I was just a lot for Alice with her weird arm things. I was really thinking about sometimes the way, because I like to wear like black long sleeve shirts under my school shirts sometimes, especially on like days like when we're cooking. And I noticed like my sleeve kind of hangs over my hands, and I just like the way that looked, which is the main reason why I did that for this. Also, for this whole section of me like drawing Alice's leg, I'm very aware that you can see a YouTube video in the corner. I would normally, like for most of this video, I have edited it out. But for this bit, I literally can't because I'm drawing so much while this video is playing. I'm pretty sure I forgot I was recording. So you guys just get to see whatever I was listening to. I'm not really sure what's going on. I believe this was some kind of video maybe about, I'm guessing it was about Shane Dawson. I'm not really sure. Also, for Alice, I really tried to push like kind of a heart motif. I'm not really sure why, like you'll notice like her little widow thing and her dress corset thing and her nose. Later on, now even, I changed her nose to a heart. I'm not really sure what the whole heart motif was about, but I don't know, she just has a heart motif and that's just the way things are. I also really liked trying like to draw in this way because normally I kind of just sketch my character's body and then draw their features at the same time, but it was kind of interesting to do the body, like all of the bodies first, and then go ahead and like add like the little bits in a different color on top. Yeah, that was fun. You can see I'm changing up her ears and struggling really hard. I think giving a cat person who is giving a cat person a hat that covers up their ears was a bit of a oopsie on my part, but you know. Also, the reason I believe the original reason why I gave her such big ears was because I wanted them to be connected to the human earlobe, because of course these are technically like anthropomorphized characters rather than like, well, they're not really, because they're not like straight up fairies, but they're also not supposed to be humans or just straight up animals either. They're humans with animal like features. Not really sure if that counts as anthropomorphized, but you know. So I really wanted it to make sense like in my head, because I get it doesn't really matter from a design point, and most people aren't going to come and nitpick me for saying, oh well, they actually can't hear now because it's fictional. I could just say their earlobes are on the top of their head. But personally, I like that, like I like to know that they could hear if this was real, if you know what I mean. It just makes me more happy. Also, I'm not sure what that jump was about. Really no idea. Anyway, moving on to Bella. I'm not really sure, again, of all their stories yet, but Bella seems to me like she seems to be the most, I don't know, average person here. Like, she has the most normal sense of style. Yeah, I also don't know who the main character is. As you can tell, this isn't really a story. This is more just a set up of designs than a set of characters. But it will become a story and characters at some point. Also, in fact, the reason I gave Bella these specific wings is because I drew wings like this, or very similar to this, in my art class. Very random fact, but a true one. Okay, here I'm going over Alice's lines because I don't know if I wasn't paying too much attention to the footage, so I'm not sure if you could see, but I did have to shrink her down because her head was for some reason really big, so her lines look small and ununified, so that's why I'm doing this, in case you're confused. Also, like, the little pokey out bits on top of her hat are supposed to be feathers, but they don't really look like feathers, to be honest. Yeah. I just had a lot of fun drawing these random designs, and I don't know, Alice is kind of giving me, like, mixed between Cheshire Cat and Rarity from My Little Pony vibes. I'm not really sure, I just really like her, and I'm pretty sure the main reason when I looked at her and for Alice was because of Alice in Wonderland, and she just reminds me so much of the Cheshire Cat for some reason. I don't know what it is. Also, her hat and, like, the fact she's purple was kind of inspired by Jam from Flavor Frenzy. Yeah. I also had a lot of fun with the different eye shapes because for the longest time my art style has been really bound to very similar same face syndrome. So having a lot of fun with doing like different eyes and eyelashes, which I've always had different eyelashes, but you know, not so much eye shape, was really fun. Like, and I think it added a lot of character to my designs, whereas if I'd done them where I normally did them, well, used to I guess, my older art style, then I feel like they would just not have as much character, despite really not being characters and mostly being designs. Also, we're not gonna judge the way like I draw the crossed arms. I'm really not good at drawing crossed arms. I've practiced and practiced and practiced, and I will continue practicing, but I'm still not very good at it. Also, I really do not know what is going on over here with Carlos's shirt. I don't know what that's supposed to be, but it's that. And then he just has these random boot trainer things. I don't even know what these are supposed to be, guys. I feel like I maybe shouldn't have given him those because they really don't go with the rest of the outfit. Like, the rest of it's kind of a bit fancy, but not really. And he's just got those. Like, I don't know what the idea there was. Yeah. I'm also really proud of this piece because I feel like despite the fact that most of the characters have very different color schemes, they kind of still go together, which is something I normally struggle with. Like, I look at some of my older designs, it's like, they do not look like they go together. And maybe it's the fact that I did make them in such a harmonious, like, maybe they're made in such a harmonious way, purely because I drew them all like this, and this is the first time I've ever drawn them. I didn't even think about them before. I just had a random idea for a story. Like, not even that's not a story idea, that's a setting idea, if we're being so for real right now. And yeah. So, colouring time, Slazy's. Also, for Rio's colouring, I really would love to show you all, like, a comparison between before I rendered the drawings and after, but I physically can't for Rio because I decided for some reason to do their rendering on the same layer as their colouring. I also did their rendering at the same time as their colouring, whereas for most of the other characters, I did their rendering after their colouring. The only exception being with Bella's wings, just because I could not stand how flat they looked. So I just had to render them. Yeah. I had a lot of fun experimenting with the different colours, and I like the purple, but I feel like it was adding too much colour, if you know what I mean, like too many different colours, and it was also kind of giving Halloween, which is why I removed that, and made it simpler, which you'll see in a second. I removed that. It's like this for a little bit, but not for very long, because I just kind of decided, yeah, no. Yeah, here you go. Now it's different. And that'll be the final way that the toga thing looks. Every time I say toga, I think of Himiko Toga from My Hero Academia. Also, like, who's proud of me, guys? I did loads of different shoes. I always draw the same shoes or no shoes on my characters. I'm so proud of myself, besties. I actually drew different. Alright, yeah. Anyway, here's Rio's rendering. I feel like later on, the rendering looks a lot more satisfying because I noticed, at least for Bella, I remember I didn't jump around as much, but I could be wrong. That may have been because I was getting tired by this point, because hold on. It's almost midnight by the time I'm doing Rio's stuff. What the fuck is that? Oh, anyway, so yeah. This drawing also took me, like, literally 4 hours. But it was really fun. Like, I liked drawing it. And the main reason, by the way, that I do my rendering now, I've learned, I will always try to do it on a layer above the colouring, is because then I'm not pulling colours with the smudge tool from different areas, because the smudge tool when I just paint is really confusing, which is probably why I've never really properly rendered. Like, I've shaded but never rendered. Also, don't expect my art to look like this every time I draw, because it probably won't. at least from the rendering standpoint. I really do like the way that rendering looks, but I don't want to do it all the time. Especially if I ever do like comics, I probably won't render them. I'll probably shade them, but I'm definitely not going to render them. Well, not definitely, but more than likely not going to render them because, yeah. I'm also really bad at shape language, and I don't think I included any in this piece, but you let me know if there's any shape language in here. I mean, I guess there is a little bit with, like, Bella compared to Rio. Rio has a lot more sharp edges, but that's probably just because they're a bat, and Bella is a butterfly, which I guess Bella? Butterflies can have, like, sharp wings. But I don't know, I just gave her more of a round motif. Yeah. I feel like, in a way, because I did it on the same layer as the colouring, Rio's rendering, especially with their hair, like, suffered compared to the rest of the characters. But yeah. I really don't know what to talk about. This video is like almost 35 minutes long because that is as short as I can get it. I'm not even kidding. I tried so hard to get it to 20 minutes. I literally, unless like you want like really, really, really fast moving like images of me just moving the screen and drawing, because I zoom in and out a lot and like move the screen a lot whenever I draw digitally. Obviously, I don't do that on paper, but I probably do get really close to the paper when I draw sometimes. I just find it easier, personally, to do it that way, especially on digital. I'm not really sure why, I just do. Yeah. I'm trying really hard to try and think of stories for these different characters as I'm watching the speed paint, but it's really hard to do that, like, fast-paced, and obviously I can't tell you the story straight away, even if I do think of them, because I'd have to explain them really quickly, and I haven't fully thought of them. And so I'm trying to think of just attributes, you know? I'm trying to think of hobbies. Maybe that would be interesting, guys. Hobbies would be great. Favorite foods. You know, I'm just going to brainstorm here and look at these guys. Oh god, she's purple. I think the reason I originally painted her purple, by the way, was because I was planning to do it the same way I did my drawing of Todd. Obviously I didn't do that in the end. Anyway, I'm just, like, thinking now, what would Rio's favorite food be? I'm looking at them and thinking, like, maybe an orange or a mango, but I think that's just because of their color scheme. Because when I look at Alice, I feel like, a grape, maybe. I don't know. What do you guys think their favorite fruits would be? I feel like Ruby? Who's Ruby? That's my classmate. That's my classmate. I have a classmate called Ruby. Not a character. Sorry, I'm getting really confused here. I feel like maybe we should just go for, like, foods, not fruits. I feel like maybe, like, tuna for what's her name? Alice, because she's like a cat. And I don't know why, I can just imagine her, like, having this, like, having this love for tuna. You know, I get that vibe. Alright, anyway, time to do Bella's colouring. I really wish I could have made her, like, wings even prettier. I do think they look nice the way I rendered them in the end, but oh my god, they could look better, and I would love to make them look prettier. Also, like, I just realized 2 of these guys have wings. Anyway, like, look, okay, what do you think Bella... What would her favourite food be? I'm trying to think. Well, I don't know. I feel like... she would really like Hmm. I don't know. I keep thinking, like, I feel like she'd like boba tea or something, like boba tea. But that's, like, not a food, that's a drink. So her favourite drink would be boba tea. What would Bella's favourite... I feel like she'd really like red velvet cake. I don't know where that came from. Oh. Headless Carlos for a second. I feel like, yeah, she'd really like red velvet cake. I have no idea where that's coming from, by the way. I just feel like she'd like red velvet cake. Yeah, I genuinely don't know where that's coming from. I just feel like she'd like that. Or maybe, like, I can see her really liking cucumber, like, in a strange way. Like, I can see her using cucumber, like, on her face, maybe. No, like, I could see Alice doing that. Maybe Alice's favorite food is cucumber. Maybe she just really likes Okay, I just had a really stupid idea. What if Alice really likes using cucumber for, like, skincare and stuff? I don't know. She's a fancy bitch. And then she, like, maybe Bella really likes eating the cucumber. Oh, that sounds weird. Maybe Bella, like, grows different fruits and vegetables, and, like, she grows, like, cucumbers, I don't know, and then she gives them to Alice to use, but Alice doesn't eat them, because she's a cat, so I don't know what Alice would do to them. Maybe she gives them back to be used as, like, fertilizer, like, she lets them rot. No, I don't know, guys. I don't know, guys. Yeah. Goodbye, butterfly. Okay, now it is time to do Carlos's rendering. I'm really not sure what kind of dog Carlos is supposed to be. I just know he's supposed to be a dog. Also, fun fact, I originally was going to make him into a rabbit just because I gave him really big feet. No, I'm not kidding. I was going to do that, but I decided I wanted to make him a dog. Because, yeah. And, then I gave him two-toned hair. I'm not really sure why, guys. He doesn't look like a specific breed of dog, but he is supposed to be some kind of dog. I'm just not sure what kind of dog yet. We'll figure it out together. Carlos, I feel like out of all the characters, has also got the weakest design. It's probably because by the time I got into designing him, I was just like, I really haven't thought about him at all. Like, for the others, I had thought about them a little bit, about what I maybe wanted him to look like. But this guy... No, I did not think about him very much. So he just has some very random clothing put together. Yeah. I feel like, despite the fact that the drawings, in my opinion, show a personality. Yeah. Hi, I have no idea where I was in that talkiness, but I was just talking to my mum. So, anyway, where were we? I don't know, but we're doing rendering now, apparently. Starting with Carlos's weird trousers, leggings. I don't know what he's wearing, okay? I don't know anything about what this man is wearing. Out of all the characters, he gives me the least vibes out of all of them. I don't know what this man's personality is in the slightest. I'm not even sure if I know what his background is. I don't even know what kind of animal he's really supposed to be. He confuses me. Like, a lot. Like, a lot. I have absolutely no idea what kind of creature this guy is really supposed to be. I feel like he would be like the king of one of the kingdoms, maybe. But maybe he's like a really nice king, like not a chill king. Like he's strict and he's good with but he's like nice to his subjects, you know? Like he's not a mean king or a bad king. He's a fair king. But he's willing to do bad things if he really has to. That maybe he's that kind of king. I feel like Rio, wherever their like kingdom is, I feel like it would be in the sky. I'm not sure if they like what their status would be. I haven't really thought about that. But I feel like theirs would be like up in the sky. Maybe like they had like all of like the kingdom is like sun based. I mean that makes sense because they're like bats, I guess. I don't know. I feel like whereas Carlos is, whoa, it looks like I'm giving him hickeys. I don't think that was the intention, but I just realized it looks like I was doing that. I have not decided any relationships yet. Anyway, yeah, he looks like he would be nice. He looks like he has just a friendly attitude, but he's not like stupid. That makes it sound like I think friendly people are stupid. But I guess what I mean is a lot of the time when you get like a really friendly character, they'll be like really like either really really nerdy, or they'll be very not like or they'll be very stupid. And like when I say nerdy, I don't mean smart kind of nerd. Like I mean I do, but like not kind of like. I feel like in my head there's a big distinction between wise and nerdy. So maybe Carlos is like just this wise, nice guy. Maybe he has a bit of a temper. And I feel like Alice, who I'm clearly rendering right now, and I went very hard on her dress, I feel like she'd be like kind of like mischievous and sly, and very like into like fashion. She's giving me fashion, okay? She's giving me fashion vibes. I don't know why. I feel like she like maybe she'd be some kind of like designer, or maybe some kind of witch in her kingdom. I'm not really sure. Maybe she would like run like a little tailor shop, you know? And like she'd be like the designer. Maybe not. I don't see her as a model so much. I see her more as just like the person behind it all. But maybe not so much a model. Not because she's not confident in being a model, but just because she prefers making the clothes and wearing them for her own like satisfaction rather than wearing them on a runway, you know? Yeah. Then I kind of see Bella being like this really sweet person and maybe quite shy. But, you know, once you get to know her, she's really like loud and really nice still. I imagine she really likes to read books and like study every fucking sentence of the book, if you know that kind of person. That's the kind of person I imagine her to be. I guess I also imagine Bella to be the youngest out of these guys, and I'm really not sure if like they're friends or like what these relationships are, but I imagine Bella to be the youngest, and maybe like I imagine maybe they're like all adults and stuff, and maybe she's like almost done with school and stuff. Like maybe she's just finished school. You know what I mean? Like I don't imagine her to be a child or a teenager, but I imagine her to be younger than the rest of the group. Yeah. Well, I gave her some tomato red blush. I mean, I gave all the characters blush, but like, damn. I don't know why, but for some reason, watching myself render her bun is just really satisfying to look at. I don't know. I just enjoyed watching that. Now it's time to make stuff glowy. And by stuff, I mean, Carlos's eyes and those weird magic bubble things that they have. I don't know. Okay, now it's background time, and oh my gosh, guys, we only have like a minute left. That's scary. I'm almost done. Anyway, because we only have a minute left, I would like to say that it was really nice to make this, and I really loved drawing it, and I'm very happy with the finished product, and I hope to develop a story and some better characters and some like backstories for each of them, so that I can share it with all of you, because I'd really love to do that. Also, happy Pride Month. I don't know if this video will come out before the end of Pride Month or after, but, you know, either way, happy Pride Month or happy late Pride Month. I know this drawing didn't really have much to do with Pride Month, but still. Yeah, and thank you very much for watching. There are a couple of adjustments I made to the finished product, as you can see here, like I added a watermark in the corner and like a couple, you can't really see, but I added shadows to the eyes. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a really lovely day. I appreciate all of like the support all of you have given me. I know that not many people, I don't expect many people to watch this, but if anyone does, yeah, I hope you have a lovely day. I'm glad you watched this video, and I hope that you liked it. And I hope that you liked my artwork, and that you can do some fun stuff. Bye-bye!